Cutting off family is one of the most misunderstood decisions a person can make. From the outside, it looks cold, selfish, even cruel. People say things like, "But they're your parents. Blood is blood. Family is everything." And yet, some people walk away anyway. Not after one argument. Not after one bad day. But after years of trying, enduring, forgiving, and hoping. So today on Sensilo, we're not here to judge. We're here to understand something most people never talk about honestly: the psychology of people who cut off contact with their families. Because psychologically speaking, going no contact is rarely rebellion. It's survival. Section 1. The myth of the sudden cutoff. One of the biggest myths about family estrangement is that it happens suddenly. It doesn't. Psychologically, cutting off family is usually the final step in a very long process. Before silence, there was explaining, pleading, setting boundaries, lowering expectations, and emotional exhaustion. People don't leave because they don't care. They leave because they cared for too long without being met halfway. By the time contact is cut, the emotional bond is often already broken. Section 2. Emotional neglect and invisible wounds. Not all family harm looks dramatic. Sometimes there's no screaming. No physical violence. No obvious scandal. Just emotional absence. Being ignored. Being dismissed. Being invalidated. Being loved conditionally. Psychology calls this emotional neglect, and it cuts deeper than people realize. When a child grows up feeling unseen, unheard, or unsafe emotionally, the nervous system adapts. It learns, "My needs don't matter. Love is unpredictable. Silence is safer than honesty." Over time, distance becomes a form of self-protection. Section 3. Narcissistic and toxic family dynamics. In many cases, estrangement involves toxic family systems. This can include narcissistic parents, chronic boundary violations, emotional manipulation, guilt-based control. In these environments, love often comes with conditions. You're accepted only if you obey, stay quiet, carry blame, or play a specific role. Psychologically, this creates identity suffocation. Walking away isn't about punishment. It's about finally being allowed to exist as yourself. Section 4. Why guilt keeps people trapped. One of the strongest forces in family estrangement is guilt. Guilt says, "You owe them. You're ungrateful. You're hurting them." But psychology makes an important distinction. Guilt is not the same as responsibility. Many people stay in toxic family relationships not because they're loved, but because they're conditioned. Conditioned to prioritize others' comfort over their own well-being. Going no contact often happens only when guilt becomes less painful than staying. Section 5. Silence as self-preservation. From the outside, silence looks like rejection. From the inside, silence feels like oxygen. When someone cuts off contact, it's often because communication itself became harmful. Every conversation reopened wounds. Every interaction triggered anxiety. Every visit erased progress. Psychologically, silence becomes a boundary when no other boundary is respected. Not to hurt. Not to punish. But to heal. Section 6. Why estrangement is so hard to explain. People who go no contact rarely talk about it openly. Why? Because society struggles with complexity. It prefers simple stories. Bad child, ungrateful son or daughter, cold-hearted decision, but psychological reality is layered. You can love your family and still walk away. You can feel grief and relief at the same time. You can miss people who were never safe for you. That contradiction is emotionally exhausting. Section 7. The grief no one sees. Estrangement doesn't erase pain. It changes it. People who cut off family grieve. The family they had and the family they never had. There's sadness. There's doubt. There's loneliness. But there's also something else, peace. And peace, psychologically, is a sign that the nervous system finally feels safe. Section 8. Understanding without taking sides. This conversation isn't about declaring anyone right or wrong. It's about understanding that family estrangement is not impulsive, trendy, or heartless. It's often the result of long-term emotional harm, unresolved trauma, and repeated boundary violations. When people walk away, it's usually because staying was slowly destroying them. The psychology of people who cut off contact with their families isn't about rebellion. It's about survival. About self-respect. About choosing mental health over familiar pain. Silence isn't always cruelty. Sometimes, it's the first act of self-compassion a person has ever allowed themselves. And understanding that changes everything. If this video helped you understand something you've lived or something you've struggled to understand, then Sensilo is a place for conversations like this. We explore the psychology behind difficult human experiences with honesty, depth, and empathy. If you'd like to continue these conversations, you're welcome to subscribe. No pressure. Just understanding. I'll see you in the next video.